Hi there, this is tuxoche.com. Today is the 21st of April and today is the long-waited for official release date for Lightroom 6. I bought an update today and installed it on a laptop first to just get a first impression. Of course, if you buy an update or the full version, you get a new serial number. Buying an update, you have to keep your old serial number from a Lightroom 5 or older versions in place because you have to input it to for the installation. Many rumors were stated that Lightroom 6 or the new Lightroom version would only be available as a Creative Cloud version, but this is obviously not true. So if you don't like the cloud model, you just can, like older versions, buy a regular version standalone. So installation is pretty simple and without any problems, but of course the catalog is converted, at least I guess for the face recognition, which is also new in Lightroom 6. Okay, today is only a first impression. We start Lightroom and I want to show you the two main new functions, that is HDR and the panoramic function. Okay, I imported a couple new pictures from the main catalog here. As you can see here, we start first with an HDR sequence taken with a difference of 2 exposure values. All you have to do is just mark all 3 of them in this case and get the context menu, and you'll find a new entry which is called photo merge. Okay, you just hit it, HDR, and he will calculate a preview of the HDR. But as you can see here in the menu, there are not many opportunities to play around with luminance or color temperature, other things like you might be used to in Photomatix. Okay, it's creating the preview. This takes a little bit. Just have to wait. I tried it before, it's getting a little bit faster towards the end. So maybe I get out here and make a cut. Okay, here we are again. This is a preview of the HDR. It looks for an automatic routine pretty good. So just get the final merge. As you can see here, that is for a laptop computer pretty fast, merging the 3 images together, and after a short while the ready image should pop up somewhere here. There's the ready image. As you might notice here in the video, it was a lot brighter and then it was increased in the brightness. Okay, we go in. That looks pretty good for an automatic result, but you probably, if you go to the develop module, you can see that you increased the exposure, okay, almost by 3 exposure values, which for my personal taste is a little bit too much. I would reduce the brightness or overall brightness of the picture and increase maybe the shadows a little bit more to get a little bit more detail. But we won't process the image, just to show you the effect. As you probably note, the ready HDR image is saved in Adobe's DNG format. At least they didn't choose a compressed format. Okay, we have back to go to the library. I can show you this in the Explorer. As you might note, that is the picture. It has almost 70 megabytes, so that tells me that it is not a compressed image. Okay, that is the HDR function, just in short. It's pretty neutral, so that is pretty good. And the next function is panorama. I have a couple of pictures here, 9, which were shot handheld. Just the same procedure. Just mark them and go to photo merge and panorama function. But this time I get out because this takes quite a while before the preview shows up. Okay, that is a ready preview from the panorama, which looks pretty good. You can auto crop it. We just do that, and that looks very nicely for a single row panorama. So we just choose merge. But this time I get out again because that takes a pretty long time. Okay, we are back again, and he has stitched the panorama, but for the 9 pictures stitching together to a single row panorama, just like this one, it took roughly about 4 minutes. But the result is pretty good. Okay, let's try another one. I usually take 360 by 180 degrees panoramas with a fisheye zoom, the Tokina 10 to 17 millimeter, on a monopod. So I just need 4 images to cover the full scene. I take these 4 pictures here. Okay, mark them. Again, photo merge. And do panorama again. We leave the auto selection of projection and wait till he calculated the preview. Okay, he calculated the preview, and for a full panorama that doesn't look right, even if I uncheck the auto crop function. That is not right to generate a panorama with a full 360 to 180 degrees view. So he seems to have problems with fisheye panoramas or images to calculate them together. So we just quit here and won't merge the ready image. Okay, I want to show you another thing. If you go to the preferences, there is a new setting for performance where you can activate whether or not Lightroom will use your graphic processor. In this case, because this is a laptop with the built-in Intel graphic and a separate NVIDIA graphic, I have to choose the graphic processor manually in the NVIDIA configuration. What I don't know if there is really a speed up in image processing when Lightroom uses the graphic processor. Okay, that was the first impression of the new version Lightroom 6. Does it make sense to update to Lightroom or buy Lightroom 6 if you don't have any software at all? If you don't have any software at all, it might make sense, since the built-in new features like HDR and panorama, so you don't have to buy other software like PTGUI or Photomatics for HDR images. But personally, since I already own PTGUI, Photomatics and Pano to 4R, the functions to me are not needed, especially the panoramic function fails with the fisheye images. The panoramic function is very slow. As I told you, the little panorama set it up from 9 images took roughly about 4 minutes. Even the open source software Hugin is a little bit faster, so at this point Adobe didn't do a good job here. What I couldn't test on the first evening is if using the graphic processor really speeds up image processing if you especially use local correction. That will be done in another video. My advice is, if there is really a speed up for the graphic processor, it might make sense for you to buy Lightroom 6 or update to this new versions. But for the new function, HDR and panoramic doesn't make sense, because there is a lot of software, even free or open software, which is quite better. As I mentioned, the free open source software Hugin can handle fisheye images and stitch them correctly to a panoramic view, so this function to me is almost not usable. So that was the first impression on Lightroom 6. I would be happy if you have any questions or suggestions. Till the next time, ciao, Tux Oche.